What's up, horror fan? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's daily episode, we have our first image, our first look at David Howard Thornton as Steamboat Willie in the upcoming film Screamboat. We also have a newly released clip for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Now, some of you may have already seen Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. It did get that limited theatrical release as of yesterday, the 13th, and it will still be showing in, I believe, most theaters between the 13th and the 15th. So if you are planning on seeing it, you only have 2 days to do so. Otherwise, after that, it's getting pulled from theaters, and we don't know exactly when we'll expect to see this one on streaming or POD. There was a rumor, if you didn't hear it already, that it either could be a while. There was even a suggested rumor that it may never get released on streaming or POD, which I find highly unlikely, just for the simple fact of the Puniverse is one of those money makers. It's going to get released on streaming or POD, especially with this year's Monsters Assemble film coming out, which will incorporate Peter Pan as one of the villains in that film. So again, I can't imagine they would not release that on streaming or POD. So let's take a look at the details for the Screamboat. So here we have first image of David Howard Thornton as Steamboat Willie in Screamboat. So we'll come back to the image here. Let's just look at the actual details first. In the wake of the 1928 animated short Steamboat Willie entering the public domain, horror movie Screamboat is headed our way to twist the tale into a horror movie nightmare with David Howard Thornton, which many of you may know him from Terrifier as Art the Clown, playing the killer Steamboat Willie. Iconic Events Releasing is bringing Screamboat to the big screen in April 2025, and Variety shares the first image of David Howard Thornton as Steamboat Willie today, which is above, and again, we'll come back to that. I'm so excited to share our mischievous monster mouse with the world. Screamboat is my way of paying homage to Disney while putting a sinister yet comedic twist on the classic, writer-director Stephen LaMorta said in a statement to the outlet. Watching David Howard Thornton bring Steamboat Willie to life with the magicians at Quantum Creation FX has been nothing short of amazing. His hilarious and murderous entertaining. I can't wait for audiences to meet Willie and experience the chaos we've created. Screamboat follows a group of New Yorkers on a late-night ferry ride that turns deadly when a mischievous mouse begins a rampage targeting unsuspecting passengers. And then we go on, and this is stuff we've already covered off on. All this below is just covering off on who the cast is, director, producers, things of that nature. So and then we have here, which I'm sure we've all seen on some level. There's been variations of this poster, but this is one of the first posters that got released when the film was announced, and it has a coming soon date. So again, you can see how the poster hasn't been updated, because we do know, as up above in previous reports, it is coming out in April, which is just a few months away. But so let's go up to this image. So this is the first image we are getting of the character Steamboat Willie. Now, you can clearly see from a aspect ratio, from a sizing perspective, you know, with him next to the bench, not going to be like a full-size character, full-size human-size character, as we've seen in some of the other Puniverse films. It looks like it's going to be very much small, very much like a mouse. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm fully sold on this look. And I'm also not fully sold on the premise of the film, how this little mouse with what appears to be a harpoon is going to be causing nothing but chaos and rampage. Now, again, this is just a first look image. They may make some changes, and it could just be the picture that makes him look much smaller than he really is. But based on this, that's what we have to go by. Again, I'm not fully sold on it. It will be interesting to see, though, if David Howard Thornton plays this character vastly different than Art the Clown. I've said this before when it comes to David Howard Thornton, especially when he came out saying he wanted to play a horror version of the Joker meaning from the villain from DC Comics. I wouldn't mind seeing a horror version of him playing that character. I just don't want to see him giving us Art the Clown, but as the Joker. And I also, in this case, don't want to see him give us Art the Clown, but as Steamboat Willie. So it's got to be a drastic change as far as his ability to bring this character to life, especially a horror version. Now, this is just a first look image. We've seen a lot of things change in films once first looks come out. They might change the costume a bit, the makeup a bit, and we have until April. My concern, though, with that is when it typically happens with big blockbuster films, they have, put in that buffer time, so to speak, to make those alterations. This is coming out, mid-January, this first look, and this is supposed to be coming out in April. 2.5 months away, maybe 3, depending upon when in April it drops. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to have time to make any alterations or changes. This might be the final look and version that we get of the character that we're going to see in the film. So, because one thing that really stands out, if you look closely here on the hands, it looks very cheap. It looks very much just like a big, like his fingers are just wrapped around in some styrofoam or some cushioning and cloth, and that's it. They called it a day. So it wasn't look like a lot was put into the costume on there. Now the face looks good now as far as the makeup goes, but the rest of the costume, again, I'm not fully bought in on. Now this could look completely different when we actually see it in motion and in live action. It could look very different. So we'll have to wait and see once we get that first teaser trailer or full official trailer, and then we can do a better breakdown. And hopefully in those trailers, they'll actually give us a look of the character in motion, not just a shadow version, or at the very end we see just this here and not much motion to it. So we'll keep an eye out for that first teaser trailer or first official trailer, and we'll make sure to do a breakdown of that once it's released. All right, so moving on to Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare exclusive clip, watch an extremely bloody fight scene. So we are going to watch this. So again, spoilers, if you plan on seeing the film either today or tomorrow, then I would recommend, pause, come back and watch the rest of this video after you've seen the film. Or if it's not playing in your area, this might just give you a glimpse to see how graphic the film is going to be. So we're going to read the details first, and then we will watch the clip. From Jagged Edge Productions and ITN Studios, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is now in theaters until January 15th, 2025, only from Iconic Events Releasing, and the team has provided Bloody discussing with a Bloody exclusive clip to whet your appetite this morning. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare gives a dark new spin on the classic fairy tale characters created by J.M. Barrie. Watch a bloody clip from a fight between Peter Pan and Wendy Darling below, and find the film's previously released official trailer underneath. And we're not going to go through all the rest of these details. It's just really, I've read through this already. Gives a little bit of synopsis of the film. We've talked about the release date for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. It was just a 3-day event. We have the casting information. So here we will provide a link of this article in the description of this video below. So if you want to come back, check out those casting details, you can do so. But here is the clip that they're referring to, and then they also have here the official trailer. And we've done a trailer review and reaction to this. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out already. And here below, again, something I'm sure we've all seen already, is one of the variations of the official poster for the film. And then that's where it cuts off. So, and as you've heard me say, I think of all the public domain characters we've seen come out thus far, I think the Peter Pan one is going to be the most graphic. It's going to be the most grounded. Now, I know the Winnie the Pooh versions that we got from a horror take, the 2 films we got there, they were grounded, they were graphic, but we're talking about a bear here. Like Winnie the Pooh is a bear, right? And so you have a human dressing up with a bear mask. Peter Pan is very different. And I've said this before, I think if you stripped away all references of Peter Pan and any of the characters and just presented this as a horror film, it would be presented very well as a horror film. It wouldn't feel like a public domain film or something that's being based off of old Disney characters. So let's jump into this clip. Now, again, spoilers. It's obviously it's spoilers. It's going to be a clip from the film. And also, if you are squeamish, I would recommend, again, pausing this or just skipping ahead past the clip. And then, we'll come back with our reaction to this.
I need to take you with me.
You ruined this for me.
So yeah, that was yes, that was pretty graphic. I think that was right up there with being just as graphic as some of the scenes from Terrifier, any one of the Terrifier films, 1, 2, or 3. It's interesting though. I'm not sure at what point in the film this happens. You would think this probably happens towards the end of the film, just for the simple fact that if Wendy is a main character and the premise is she's trying to save her little brother from being taken to Neverland by Peter, that this, you know, what's happening to her wouldn't be happening at the beginning of the film, because I don't think she survives this. And the gash that Peter took to the face, where you see half of his face and cheek literally just hanging on, like it's been completely cut and pulled away, and then she gets just fully scalped and then hit with the meat cleaver or the meat tenderizer hammer. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna survive from that. And the fact that, you know, he's also missing the first top half of his foot. So Peter took quite a bit of damage just in that short clip, which was just a minute and a half. So again, I'd imagine this is probably going to be towards the end of the film, just for the simple fact of the damage he's taking and the damage that she's taking. I don't foresee her surviving it. I mean, obviously he did, because he took her out and retired her, but nonetheless, this looks to be, if this is what we can expect to see throughout the entire film, this is going to be a very gory film. And again, I think you can put it right up there with any one of the Terrifier films. Now, I just hope this doesn't feel like it's just Terrifier and we're calling it Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, right? I want it to be a little bit different, obviously a lot different, where it doesn't feel like, again, I'm watching Terrifier or what could have been a Terrifier film. So, all right, everyone, that's going to do it for today's episode. Just a quick thank you to all of our new subscribers and our existing subscribers. Thank you for all the support. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about the first image from with David Howard Thornton as Steamboat Willie. Also, let us know what you think about just the minute and a half you saw from Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Are you going to be checking this out, whether that's in the theater over the next day and a half or when it comes out on streaming? Drop a comment in the comment section, and we'll see you at the next one. Peace.